thing, John?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Well, what's the Dave thing?
No, you'll see. You'll go.
Don't make me have to kill you.
No,
Oh God!
it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Let Johnny do the intro, and we'll review it.
All right.
Jay thinks it's 4 o'clock somewhere. He's already.
Oh no!
4 o'clock.
I'm like, damn. Why does John keep repeating himself? It was my. I'm confused because now the way they changed this, you can't hit the stop button on the video before we go live, and I'm too busy worrying about this.
That's because you're a lush.
I know.
You don't worry about that.
Did you say quack, 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 quack?
Oh wow. Okay, well I guess we're on.
Oh,
Shauna Marie sings.
Quack, 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 quack.
Go ahead and do the Dave thing real quick, and then we'll start.
All right, so real quick, for those of you that are wondering why we're running so late today, we're all having technical problems. Every one of us except Johnny. Jay had to restart. Dave puts on these wireless earbuds, and he's trying to get them to work, and we're like not hearing him, but he's not hearing us. Rather, we're not hearing him, and we're like. And he's not hearing us. And it reminds me of that David Lee Roth video where, Dave is like sleeping and they're like 3, 2, 1, go for Dave. Dave. Dave! Oh, you're on Dave TV! You remember that?
Yeah.
The 80s. So it's just like that because we're trying to get a hold.
Yeah.
How's that for rock video?
That's exactly what it was.
Apologies for running late today, everybody. Johnny, take it away.
Hey, everybody, this is Johnny Beane. We're live. It's 5:24 p.m. Man, gotta change the battery in my watch. February 26, 2019. We got who's in here? David Nesdahl, finally. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jay Hannon. Jonathan Mancuda.
I'll make an actual.
Oh. The sound machine overpowers his mic.
No one could hear me, and it's better.
God.
Man.
Excuse me.
Wow. Yeah, you guys. Welcome. Shauna Marie sings. Wait a minute. Why are you getting... Oh, because of butt cheeks. Okay.
Really?
Mad Dog.
Yo, Mad Dog. Brendan B. Butt cheeks. The Law. Hey, The Law, man. Good to see you, man. I've been watching your videos, man. Awesome stuff. Pal Guitars, good to see you. Vinny 5150 Fly Guy. Wow. Smash
Pumpkin.
Guitar Collector 12. Absolute Mayhem. Caleb. I was gonna say Fan Halen. Uh-oh, wrong one. Nerd Halen.
Caleb.
Nerd Halen.
Yeah, did you guys see Adam from FU Tone who was wearing a Nerd Halen shirt today?
FU Tone, shout out.
You guys see that? Very cool. Now I was there when he gave him the shirt.
Yo, they're going to be the most popular Van Halen tribute band without even playing a show yet.
That's right. They've never played before, but everyone knows them.
It's a great shirt.
Yep. No, it is.
Mm-hmm. I was wearing mine yesterday. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Howard.
that's the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Sleepy Howard.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, right there. Yeah.
Howie,
Yeah.
Howie.
Yeah, he'll need a pair of these things.
Yeah, I got to get a new microphone. I can't stand it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you don't think you're not enough?
We get more thumbs up when my volume is lower. So.
You're a background guy. Remember.
Believe me, that's my life. I'm the original red shirt.
Man, I still have to see that. Is that available on
Where
can
just
we see that?
it's on any Star Trek.
Yes, especially the original series.
Yes, the original series Star Trek, a red shirt they always done.
If they go on a land, and especially if they go down on a landing party, just look at anybody with a red shirt, and within a minute, off.
The only red shirt that never dies is Scotty.
Or Uhura. Uhura's got the red dress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Smart enough, they don't leave the ship.
But she's got boobies, so she doesn't die.
No, but
You know what though? There was one episode when a female red shirt did die.
Ugh.
Hey, equality. I'm all for it.
Think about this though. That Captain asked Scotty, come down with the landing party. No, sir. I got to stay with the ship.
Can I change my shirt first?
Yeah. I know. Uhura turns around. You ain't get my ass on that planet, Captain. I ain't stupid. Everyone else, it's like Spock, McCoy, Johnson, and Morrow. Oh man, two guys you never saw before and never will see again.
Right? They don't have any lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only line they have is
No, or I heard something. I'm gonna go check that out, and then that's it.
and then they blow up.
Yeah, Bones, Spock, with me this way. Morrow, Johnson, go that way. All of a sudden, ah! Did you guys hear that? And, all of a sudden they're impaled on spiky plants or something. Melted bodies, something.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Guitar neck sticking out of their chest.
oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
Todd A.K.A. Soda Pop. Brendan Buttcheeks. Thomas Santiago.
Oh man. Wow. Well,
Star Trek Next Generation, though, they changed it. All the important guys were wearing red. Yeah, the captain and the first officer wearing red. And then, like, the guys in, various shades of opaque and turquoise. Those were the guys that died.
man, I don't know. I've never seen any of that stuff, so
You never watched Star Trek?
not really, no.
You know what I think about that?
Stan Adams says, Jonathan, turn your volume up. Stan, I'm having a very hard time with my microphone, so I'm going to try to talk real loud, which isn't in my nature or anything. And maybe, hopefully, you guys will hear me. There's my man. See?
You know what he uses that for, right?
It's a vibrating phaser, Captain.
Battery's low.
That's not,
Hand phaser time.
and now it's time to look at Star Wars lightsabers.
Oh!
I just phased myself.
Obi-Wan.
Phase yourself out.
My feet. I just shot my feet right off.
Oh
Obi-Wan
gosh.
comes up. Luke, I have something for you. Well, an elegant weapon from a more simpler time. Your father's big spiked black double-ended dildo. Yeah. I like Star Wars and Star Trek. I like both.
Which do you prefer?
That's a rough one because I like Star Trek Next Generation the best, but Star Wars, I mean, I grew up with that stuff, so
Star Wars. Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I don't know. I just feel like Star Trek has had such a history and a great history. I'm not a huge Next Generation fan of the Next Generation series, but the movies I thought were really good. And I also thought the two new movies that they made were actually pretty good too. So I would probably have to go with Star Trek, even though the first two Star Wars movies, 4 and 5, are just like out of this world. Great. Literally out of this world.
Empire is my favorite. And then when it comes to Star Trek, I like Wrath of Khan and Voyage Home the best.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Those two are great, man. But even the
Well,
Search for
yeah,
Spock
really?
was awesome.
Oh yeah, Voyage Home is 4.
Yeah.
Those
Wait.
two are the best. 1 and 3, all the odd numbers were bad. Odd number bad.
But you know what's funny? If you watch Wrath of Khan, that's like the best Star Trek movie ever.
Yeah. It really is, man.
I mean, because it's the last time really that you see the Enterprise without it getting crap kicked out of it,
Right.
and it's got the most action.
And Ricardo Montalban, how great is that? He's gone from like fine Corinthian leather to this is SETI Alpha 5.
Gone!
Man, this is the second pair of glasses I fogged up, man. I can't
Getting all that Star Trek talk is making you hot.
laughing too much. Dang it. Well, speaking of guitars,
Wait, hold on a second. No. Format change. It's now a Star Trek show.
Oh wait,
Ah.
if that's the truth. Then hang on a second.
oh no.
Oh no. Your future what did they power those with? Dilithium crystals? All right, anyway, Johnny, what were you saying?
No. We can keep it on the Star Wars and the Star Trek.
On the Star Wars and the Star Trek.
The Star Wars Trek.
Speaking of guitars, though, have you guys seen those like Star Wars guitars?
Unfortunately.
You know, do you have any of those, John?
No, those are pieces of crap. They make them like just for collecting purposes. They're not really that good to play.
Mm-hmm. Who made those? Who did the graphics on some of those?
I mean, the graphics are mostly like, like copies and then glued on, I guess, right?
Guppy.
Plays or wraps or something, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He always does it. I don't know.
You know? Well, you guys have seen that
Butthead. He becomes butthead like fast.
Mm-hmm. Instantly.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, speaking of guitars, Johnny, I don't want to this when I saw your picture today, it cracked me up.
Oh yeah, he looks like he's got a huge head and no body.
No, this picture right here.
That picture, right? Yeah.
I was like, looks like you're playing a bass guitar. It looks like it's huge. Oh, stupid. Hold on.
The guitar is bigger than he is.
Johnny's such a good sport. I'm about to burn on him a little bit, and he presents me. That's how cool Johnny is.
Well, look
Right
how
that
big
thing.
his head is compared to his body.
Come on.
Come on!
Johnny,
Come on!
he's got
Come on!
bobblehead.
Come on!
Anyway.
He's a bobblehead.
Uh-huh.
And it looks like you're actually like not expecting the picture to be taken. Like, huh? Or is it one of those like, come on, take the damn picture, and they snap it?
Yeah, what it was I gave the guy my phone.
$5.
I'm like, here, take a quick picture, you know? The guy's never used an iPhone in his life. And so he goes and he's like, it's not taking it. Meanwhile, he did burst mode. I get the phone back. There's 200 pictures of me like this. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking.
So which one was this? Like picture 78 or something?
That was number 852 or something.
Did you
Yeah.
take?
Was that head expansion filter working?
And then instantly my phone just was totally slowed down because of the instant 1,000 pictures that were added, you know. So I had to go and search through them to find, you know, the most decent one or whatever. And I posted like 2 or 3 of them or whatever, and then just deleted everything, you know.
Threw his phone in the garbage.
And
Yeah.
that's the one you saved?
That was the best one.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Love to
But
see-
yeah.
I'd love to see the outtakes of that.
The one where you have the look like, come on, man, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, and it's almost like you know those old timey those notepads where you flip them and it has the cartoons that move.
Yeah.
You've seen those, right? You can actually see if you look through the pictures, you can see me standing there, and then you see me like slowly, my hand coming closer to grab the phone back.
The flip book.
You know.
That dog said life-size Johnny Beane bobblehead this store now.
Our buddy Thomas McRockland just ripping it.
Ice.
Late night rip.
Awesome.
Little Stevie Vi.
Yeah.
Why don't you call his ass up and see if he wants to come on?
Well, that was it's 5 hours. What?
Wasn't just now?
No, I think it's a little while ago, but he's 5 hours ahead of us. So what would that make it?
He's 8 hours ahead of two of us.
Yeah, he's 8 hours ahead of you guys.
It's like 3 in the morning or something.
It's like 16:38 over there. I don't know what that is. I'm just.
That would be 4:38.
Hey, Miller. So a couple of guys have pointed out I'm wearing a Charvel logo shirt today.
And a pink hat.
This is the toothpaste logo from the late 80s. I actually like the other logo, the old logo from the San Dimas era, but this was free at NAMM. Charvel's like, hey, man, Kuda, take a shirt. I'm like, free? Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get your guitar yet?
No, the goddamn thing. Fender's driving me nuts. They're like, we're going to talk to a representative who's going to talk to the head of the representation, who's going to talk to the factory worker, knows Mike Shannon, and knows the postal guy who will maybe drop ship it to you and not send it cross country and back. So we're trying to work that out for you. Hang on, Mr. Mancuda. We'll put you on hold. You know what? We'll call you next week. Is that okay? So I'm still waiting on this damn thing.
So why don't you buy a guitar while you're waiting for that one?
Yeah,
oh, you did. You did it.
I did. Now I gotta deal with the owner of that one. Showman Blues says I look like his Nana in that hat.
Oh, you look like a Nana headstock.
Yeah, show you my
Jimmy Carr. This is the guitar I'm holding right now.
Look at that beauty. What a top on that.
Jimmy Carr.
It's a beaut, Clark. It's a beaut.
I'll tell you what I did to it since the last time we spoke. I put a German Floyd on it and a German Floyd nut on it and some eye hooks because the guitar wouldn't set up correctly. As funny as it sounds, with the EVH trem, it wouldn't set up right. The action was either too low or too high. It just wouldn't set up correctly. So I just, for craps and giggles, because I don't want to say shit. Oh, sorry. I tried a German Floyd.
For chips and pickles.
Lo and behold.
Chips and pickles?
Yeah, for chips and pickles.
The second I put it on, the guitar behaved. It was like night and day. The guitar, it's night and day. The guitar is unbelievable right now.
Night and day.
Well, there was a rumor going around the EVH interwebs, Dave, that from your reaction to that while we were on live Friday, when you unboxed that guitar, I was like, man, Dave doesn't look like he's too happy about that thing. But I know, with the whole what happened that day and stuff, as far as what I was like, maybe he's just tired.
Yeah, I had dialysis. I was exhausted. It was it was a rough day for me. My arm is finally starting to heal, and I got to go again tomorrow. I mean, it's 3 days a week, no matter how you do it. But it's rough. The days of dialysis, I'm just exhausted. So, and today I feel like I'm like I can run a marathon. It's like the day after, the day that I get to rest is really like the day. It's like I don't know what to do with myself. I'm full of energy. I feel great. I just it is what it is.
So Dave, did you ever respond to the couple of dudes on, I forget which Wolfgang or EVH page you posted about what you did to the guitar, and there were a couple dudes saying like that the Korean Floyd's, like the EVH Floyd / Korean Floyd, is the exact same thing as the German.
That was Teddy. Teddy said that, our buddy Teddy.
Yeah.
And it's not the truth. The Korean Floyds are not made out of the same metal as the German Floyds. They're okay. The Korean Floyds are okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the Z plate, the actual plate that the saddles sit on, is thicker than a German Floyd. It's not as sturdy as the German Floyd. The saddles themselves are not made out of the same material. It's just not the highest grade steel there is. It's just the truth. It's not the same.
And the most noticeable thing from somebody who really doesn't know the exact details, but the second you go with those fine tuners, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
The fine tuners on the German Floyds are like butter.
Right.
Whereas the EVH ones are a little stiff, you know?
Well, I don't mind them being stiff. That's the least of.
That's what she said.
That's the least of the bad.
That's what Dave just said.
But even when you use it, when you use the Floyd, when you actually, doing all this stuff, there's a difference. There's a difference in feel.
There is.
From the Korean F1000 to the German-made original Floyd, or the '84 reissue, which is what I have on here. Not to mention, I mean, with the brass saddles, with the brass fine tuners on this color body, it looks like it belongs.
Yeah, it does. It looks good.
Normally, I wouldn't go with the brass saddles on a Wolfgang because, like on all the other colors, you need the black. You need the black on it to offset it. But on this guitar, it looks really good. But I mean, I didn't even have, once I put this on, I didn't even have to set it up. It went together perfectly. And I got nothing else to say. EVH, stop using the F1000 on the American guitars, you fools.
Dave Nesdall says, "You fools."
And I agree. They really should put the German Floyds on the USA ones. And I'm sure Floyd Rose wouldn't have a problem putting the EVH branding on it,
Well, regardless, I think they're doing it because they're cheaper. They're trying to cut some corners and make some money. But the guitar is $3,200. How much less money are you going to make by putting a German Floyd on? What are you going to make? $10, $15 less? Give me a break.
But does Fender still have a deal with Floyd Rose? Do
Well,
they put original Floyds on any of their other
Yes.
guitars?
Yes.
Absolutely.
These days?
Yes.
Custom shop does.
Go to Charvel Guitars. Any decent Charvel guitar has an original. Most of them are black Floyd Roses.
If they're American, if it's an American Charvel or Jackson, it's got a German Floyd Rose on it. Even the Korean-made Floyd Roses are made by Floyd Rose. They're not just some company that puts the Floyd Rose stamp on it.
Yep.
It's made by Floyd Rose. It's just a cheaper version of it.
It's a different metal.
Yeah, it's softer or harder depending on which way you look at it.
Yeah, the German Floyds have always been of a better quality. I mean, they always have.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, cutting costs is one thing when you're talking about, the Indonesian guitars or the Mexican guitars. But once you're talking about USA guitars, there should be no, cutting corners on a certain, especially something that the strings are in contact with all the time.
Yeah. And no one says they have to put all the upgrades on it, like the titanium bolt
No.
and the big brass block. You don't have to. EVH doesn't have to do that. Eddie Van Halen doesn't have that on his guitar, or at least on the last tour, it wasn't. It was just a regular Floyd. Well, it was a Korean. It was an F1000 on his tour relic. It was an F1000. But the difference between Eddie Van Halen and the rest of us normal assholes is that he's got a guy tuning his guitars up for him between each song if he wants to. So it doesn't matter to him. But when you want to play a guitar, when you're buying a guitar that's $3,000 and you're doing everything yourself, you want a guitar that's going to react correctly and stay in tune correctly for a long time, or for as long as possible. And the only way to do that is to get, the best quality stuff on your $3,000 guitar.
Let me tell you something. Those Nazi bastards killed 6 million of my kinsmen. So
listen, I don't want to hear my grandfather died at Auschwitz, all right?
Use the best Floyd I can get and drive him.
Did you hear what I said? My grandfather died at Auschwitz. I don't want to hear it. He fell off a guard tower.
You're quite the bastard.
Where's Johnny? Johnny's in the background going, oh my God. Oh my God. They let the S bomb. They keep saying shit.
Nazi jokes.
Well, let me steer this ship in the right direction here.
You mean
Pal Guitars? Pal Guitar says, how do you get chorus in the dry mid speaker in a wet dry wet system, or do you just kill the dry channel? That's for you, Dave.
The only way to do it that I can think of is to go from your guitar cable into a chorus pedal and into the chorus pedal into the front of the amp, and then it'll be in the dry amp. But if you're doing it, all the effects are in the effects loop, so that's why the outer speakers get it. It's going in and out of the effects loops. So if you want chorus in the middle cabinet, then it has to be in front of the amp.
Clayton James Hicks says, today is Telecaster Tuesday. Yes, it is, man. Or Tora Tuesday.
Tug my Tuesday.
Stan Adams says, love Ed, but that's wrong. And I agree. Put some good quality parts on your guitars if you're going to sell them for that much money.
Sean Zimmerman says, at 7/8, can you do that, Jay? Can I do what? If it takes any kind of skill, probably not.
Soda Pop, I'm not angry. I'm just trying to prove a point. I'm really not angry at all.
No, especially the fact that, we're fans. Yeah, we're fans of Eddie Van Halen. We're fans of his guitars and anything that he does for the most part, Van Halen 3. But yeah, when you're buying his gear, you expect it to be top notch.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's not every EVH branded Floyd that's a problem. I just happen to be, I've had a few of them that were a problem. But the one that's on my striped Wolfgang, that's an EVH branded Floyd, and it reacts perfectly. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. I didn't change that one, but I had to change Jay's. The one that he had was not great. It wasn't great. So we put a German Floyd on his, and now it's perfect.
I had to change Jay's Pamper. That was not an easy change.
No, it wasn't.
By the way, can we just mention that Amanda Coombs is now in the room?
You can mention it.
Well, considering you almost called her Amanda Poons.
Poons. I did not say Amanda Poons.
Yeah, you almost did.
Oh, boy.
Amanda Coombs.
P. Coombs. There she is. With wrench in hand.
Let's just, since Johnny's not here, let's just completely take this thing off the rails. What do you guys say?
All right.
So let's see.
We only have 59 people watching anyway. They all left.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
We could let Mancuda wow, he just froze.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
This is what I do.
No, you're an actor. You should be an actor when you grow up.
I'm going to try to grow up someday. It's not going to happen, but I'll do my best.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of acting, Brendan Buttcheeks, how'd your
audition go?
Yeah, how'd the audition go, man?
Brendan Buttcheeks had auditions last week, for those that aren't aware. We like to support our own. Are you a star now?
Do you think there's a chance that, this might be stupid, but I'm reading what Blank Pallet's saying. Do you think there's a chance that maybe Floyd wouldn't let EVH put the EVH brand on the German Floyds. Like I doubt it. You know,
well, I don't know why he needs to have the EVH brand on the Floyd Rose anyway. It's on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have an EVH brand on his pickup covers?
Surprised he doesn't.
If you're gonna have one endorsee for a Floyd, you really want Eddie Van Halen.
Well, he's part of the reason why those things are on every damn guitar now.
Everything.
Yeah, between him and Brad Gillis, those two guys, thank God for those two guys, or else there probably wouldn't be a Floyd Rose.
Definitely.
Or at least they wouldn't be popular. They would have been there for a year or two, but then it would have gone away like Kaler.
And what a perfect name. Floyd Rose. You know, you got a Floyd on your guitar. You know, it's just like if his name was like John Smith. Never mind.
You have a John Smith on your guitar?
Johnny?
I got a Johnson on my guitar.
Yeah, a Big Johnson.
Yeah, you have a Richard Johnson on your guitar?
Mm-hmm. There is a brand called Johnson.
Yes.
Yes. Remember they had amps, right?
Yes, Johnson Guitars and Johnson Amps, two different companies. Johnson Guitars, not so much. Johnson Amps, they were cool for a minute.
They were cool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Brendan Butcheek says, holy crap, there were over 3,000 people at the audition. He says he has no clue. It ended up being a stop and drop, which, yeah, Mancuda, you know what that is. Basically, you wait to drop off your headshot and resume, answer a few questions, wait, and then they say thanks.
Drop. A stop and drop is when they stop me. They say, hey, you want to drop to your knees and get a roll? I say, okay. And, you know.
I thought a stop and drop was like when you stop, drop, and then when you're done, you wipe and then you flush.
So my auditions usually go, did I get the part? You got mouthwash? We'll call you.
Bozique has a good question. He says, between the three of us, or anyone in the chat, if you had to choose between a Floyd 1000 and an FU Tone made bridge, which do you choose? Now, I've never used an FU Tone bridge, but I did install one on one of my friend Pete's guitars, and I thought it was a great bridge. And it's very much like the PV Wolfgang bridge, and I do like those. So I would probably go with the FU Tone.
I couldn't answer that question. I've never even, you know, touched an FU Tone bridge, so
Johnny?
no clue.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny?
I'd go with the FU Tone one. I think because he had a guitar at his booth, Adam, and I think that's what was on the guitar was the FU Tone bridge. It was good.
He makes custom colored bridges, doesn't he?
Yes, he's got a green one and he's got an orange one that are actually for sale right now.
Well, if I got to choose the color, then I would definitely go with the FU Tone.
You can choose your you can choose your color.
Okay, but I'm just saying if they were like sitting on the table, you know, like a plain 1000 and then like a cool colored.
Who makes the neon pink bridge? That's what
There you go.
FU Tone, we'll make a neon pink one for you.
I mean, here's the thing. I've played the Floyd, and I'm cool with it. I've also never played an FU Tone full bridge, but I have played with some of their upgrades, like their titanium parts, and those are great. So if any of their bridges are as good as their upgrade pieces, I may give the nod to the FU.
Well, I mean, I've seen it. I've seen the bridge. Like I said, I put it on one of my buddy's guitars. It reacted great. It felt great. I haven't had much time with it, but maybe an hour or so. And it was a great feeling and bridge, and the guitar stayed in tune great, and that's what you want. Who cares what it looks like? Who cares that it doesn't look exactly like a Floyd Rose? As long as the guitar stays in tune, and when you use it, it reacts the way a Floyd should react. And that's all that matters.
That's why you need a Kaler.
Oh God, that's just that's worse than saying, well, that's almost worse than saying.
Am I the only one that's okay with Kaler bridges?
Kaler bridges are the worst thing on the planet.
I'm okay with them.
They feel different.
They are.
I mean, it's different. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, it's made to do the same thing, but they definitely have a very different feel to them. And Clayton, it is Telecaster Tuesday, man.
He doesn't like when I say it.
No,
you have to
he
say
has to have Johnny say it.
It has to be
He has
you.
to say it.
Johnny,
It has to be you.
Johnny lends credibility to it.
Yes. When I say it, it's like, who cares?
All right, so Brendan,
Hang on. A Metal Madman is from Aruba saying hello to us.
Now, what does everybody think?
Ooh, I wanna take it.
Yes. Montego. Ooh.
Come on, you pretty mama.
John BL 5150. I'm not just feeling good tonight. I just have stuff to say tonight. Normally, I don't have too much to say, but tonight I have some stuff to say.
Dave did like 5 lines before the show. Let's get real.
I did.
Stan Adams asks, can you make a 1000 work okay, or do you just switch? Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you have a few extra bucks, I mean, what I would do is, and I did it for, well, the red one or the striped one, Dave kind of called me and said, hey, would you be interested in upgrading the Floyd to a German Floyd? And I said, yeah, why not? Go ahead. When I got the white one, the Japanese Wolfgang, I went ahead and just ordered one before I even got the guitar. So, you know, if it's something that it's not a big necessity for you, you can make them work. They're good, but the Germans are great.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they absolutely suck. Don't have it. Don't make sure you don't have one in your house. I'm just saying, for me personally, on a $3,000 guitar or more, or a $2,500 guitar, or whatever guitar is breaking the bank for your pocket, you need to have the best gear on your guitar possible. And I don't think the F1000 is the best gear on an American-made guitar. I think that it should be the best quality version of that bridge. And this is that. That's just me. Other people, you know what? You may not even feel it the same way that I do. You may, when you're using your arm, they all might feel the same to you. It depends on what you feel, how much you connect with your guitar. It's different for every person. I could put this guitar in someone else's hand and they could say this guitar sucks. I don't know many people that would say that, but I bet you there are people in the world that would say that. But to me, now this guitar is just like one of my other ones. It's great like the rest of them because it feels great to me. And that's what matters. I put this bridge on here because I like it and it feels great for me. I'm not saying go do it because I said so. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you a little input from my life.
Telling. He's telling that.
And he's not on their payroll.
No. Well, you wouldn't think
Hey,
John, do you see Brendan Buttcheek's question for you?
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt Dave, but yeah, Brendan Buttcheeks wanted to ask an acting question about auditions. The reason they don't tell you at an audition that you didn't get the role or you're not right for the part, think about this. It's a cattle call. There's like 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 3,000 people. They're all hoping to get that same role. And there's a lot of reasons they're not going to tell you right then and there, yeah, not you, not you, not you. Because for starters, number one, they might not even know they don't want you yet. They may have one person in mind for a role and then look at you and say, you know what? We wanted this, but he could be that. So this could be like a last-minute decision, something they change their mind on, something they're discussing. But chances are it's probably because they don't want guys like you and me sitting down and coming back and saying, wait, what do you mean I'm not right for the role? Wait, Stella! I'm perfect. I can do it. I'm a contender. Mama, top of the world, mama. Top of the world. Look, Titanic. I can do anything. They just want to keep the line moving. They just want to get 1,000 photos and look at them and say, not you, not you, not you. And they're not going to call you all back. They're making movies. Only you and I have time to call them back. They don't have time. They're making movies. So that's why they're not going to call you and say, Mr. Buttcheeks, we're really, really sorry, that you weren't right for the role, but we're going to keep your photo on file because there's certainly something, perhaps a cream cheese commercial with your name on it coming up soon. Thank you so much.
Mr. Butt Cheeks. I like that.
Mr. Butt Cheeks.
Cream cheese commercial. That's very funny with your name on it.
Well, smear it right in your crack. Oh, smear.
Oh, Brendan's saying, I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm talking about a week or two later, once they cast it, send an email. Now, I kind of get what you're saying, Jonathan, about if they got 2,000 or 3,000 people, they're not going to, yeah.
They're not. You have to basically go out of there assuming you didn't get the role. That's just the mentality of Hollywood. You have to go out of an audition saying, I gave it my shot. I probably didn't get it. And if you get a call back, then you study your ass off whatever lines or technique they gave you or told you to rehearse. But until then, you leave there and say, on to the next one. I need to get 1,000 rejections before I can get my next role. That's the mentality you have to have.
Right.
Mentality.
Oh, please has a question. He says, or he or she.
KY
said,
Jelly.
Any kind of product to use to turn an orange satin Wolfgang special into a glossy finish.
KY Jelly, right? Hold on.
I don't think so. I think that I don't think it's a satin finish. I think it's some sort of what's that called? Like
matte. The matte finish.
Yeah, matte. It's the same thing. I don't think there's a clear on it.
Let me see.
No.
You're talking the Wolfgang, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've played those. Let me
Very proud of you.
let me see if I can find my pictures. Well, no, I've actually seen one close up.
He's seen it. He's seen it.
I seen it.
I've been done seen it.
Brendan, I love you too, brother. Break a leg, man. It'll happen. Just keep going. Go to
Yeah, he's had roles in the past. It's not like this is his first rodeo, but
I've got roles too. Look.
There you go.
Rolls in the what?
Tessie Switch, I'm glad that you're finally here because look, my man, thank you for the shirt. It is awesome. And it looks good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great quality shirt, man.
It is.
Mr. Tessie.
Feel the material.
It feels great.
Like a baby's bottom.
Like the inside of a baby's bottom. What?
So why do you want to oh please, why do you want to turn it into a glossy finish? Is it because you play it so much that where your fingers touch your arm, is it like wearing certain areas of it? So you're like, I don't like how this looks. I want to turn the whole thing glossy.
Okay, I'm getting closer. Here we go.
What are you doing down there?
Here's the guitar. I finally found the guitar. It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's not shiny at all.
No,
it's a picture to see that. He likes glossy more. You know what I would do then? What I would probably do, because at the end of the day, it'll just it'll be the right thing, is take it to a paint shop somewhere, maybe an auto body shop,
there
or
it is,
a car painter, and have them spray clear on it. Just have them spray clear paint and buff it up and shine it up.
You made that.
My suggestion to you is CHS Custom Guitars, and ask for Craig Stofko, our friend, or Craig Guitarwannabee, and he'll do it for you. He'll turn that thing into a shiny mess for you.
Hi, I'm Craig, and I'll make your guitar shine like a dickhead.
You got to be kidding me. Not now. Not now. I'm not yelling at you.
I thought you were saying you got to be kidding me to the oh man.
That's right there, like.
Ken Stowe says, leave it alone, in my opinion. You know what? Usually I'd agree, but some people just can't. I can't. I got a guitar half apart in my on my dining room table right now because I just can't leave. What is it saying? Well enough alone. I hate hearing that, but I use it, I guess.
What's well enough?
I'm just saying. Sometimes pumpkins aren't supposed to be glossy.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, but a lot of guitar players, unless something like you feel in your hands is just like perfect and you're like, I'm not messing with this. But sometimes you play something like, this is great, but what if I,
if you what?
Yeah. What if you want to, what if you
Listen, these guitars,
what?
They're meant for you to customize to the way you love them. That's it.
Yeah, if you weren't supposed to replace the big block in the back, they put a piece of wood over it so you couldn't get to it.
Yeah, that's what Eddie Van Halen does. He leaves everything stock. Totally stock. Do what Eddie does. You'll play just like him.
Yeah, guitars, they're fun to mess with and everything. And
I do suggest one thing though. If you're going to change stuff on your guitars, keep the original parts, because one day when you go to sell the guitar, it ain't worth as much. With all the hundreds of dollars that you've put into the guitar, it's not worth as much as if you would have left it stock.
That's true. John BL 5150. I will definitely show you guys the guitar tonight. Not now, but we'll get to it. We got to discuss things.
Yes.
Even if you can't.
I forgot one more thing that I have ordered for this guitar that I can't wait to get. And I'm ordering it from Adam from FU-Tone. I am ordering the hard tension springs, which are normally red, but I am custom ordering them in yellow.
Oh.
Yes, he doesn't normally do that, but he said he'd do a couple for me. So
hey, he'd do it for me,
Do a couple for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm that special guy asking this special guy from this special guy if he could do something special for this guy. So he said he'd do something special for this guy if this guy paid that special guy whatever it costs to do it.
I go into Adam. I talk to Adam. I say, Adam, it's Dave Nesdall. Nesdall. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Dave Nesdall? Of course. Hey, what do you want? You want me to hurt someone? You want me to break someone's knees? No, nothing like that. I just need some springs. I got these gray red ones. Nah, I want them in yellow. Yellow? That's unheard of. But you know what? For you, Dave Nesdall, I'll do that for you.
By the way, do you know who I think I am? Forget it.
The Wadfather?
Forget about it.
The Wadfather. That's a great adult film name. Johnny's gone, man.
Johnny's gone.
What the hell happened? He disappeared.
He imploded.
Father money.
Well, no, his dog is gone too. They're both gone. Both Johnny and the dog. Johnny and the dog.
Johnny and the dog coming to ABC this fall.
That's right.
Johnny.
Don't you forget it, Shauna. Don't you forget it. Anything for the Nez. You got to put the before. Anything for the Nesdall.
Mr. Nesdall, of course I'll do.
No. The Mr. Nesdall.
Hey, the Nesdall's in the house.
I'll be right back.
What's going on?
Missed the whole mob moment. The guitar mafia was just here.
Yeah, John. Yeah, what happens is when Howie's out of water, if he'll still have like a little bit in the bowl, he'll knock the whole thing down and make a huge mess. And I saw that he was almost out, so I had to go and refill it.
Yeah, listen, I was passing water this morning. Oh.
Citizen Kane. Yep. Who's in here? Oh, Soda Pop.
Shauna Marie wants to know where Snickers is.
I just answered that question.
Oh, I see. You typed it up.
Yes, we have to give Desiree a shout out because she broke her foot.
Oh no.
He's in a boot.
She kicks ass, even with a broken foot. Shout out to Desiree. Feel better. We love you. Take care of our buddy.
Well, actually, it's her toe that's broken, one of her toes, but her whole foot is involved. So it's not nice, not good.
Did you go to the hospital? Tell them you're the Nesbitt?
We didn't go to the hospital. We went to the podiatrist, my podiatrist, which is now her podiatrist, and she took X-rays, and yeah, she's had a broken toe, and then she aggravated her foot with that broken toe when she fell last week. Fell outside.
I fell outside,
and then my shoes fell off.
Bastard.
Ouch.
Now the only people that are healthy in the house are the animals. Well, two of them, the two dogs.
So I was walking down the street and a car swerved onto the sidewalk. So I jumped away and I smashed my fucking foot. And now my toe is broken and I'm wearing a big boot, like a ski boot. And I'm limping along like a hunchback.
She's got to go to the bathroom.
Desiree?
No, the dog.
Oh, okay.
I gotta let Brandy out. I'll be right back.
Gotta go to the bathroom.
So I went to the bathroom, but I was a little drunk, and I unzipped my fly, pulled my thumb, and wet my pants.
So, speaking of replacing your Floyds, right? If you got the extra, I think it's like $50 or $60 if you're going to replace like an EVH Floyd with a German original Floyd. If you got the extra $50 or $60 on top of that, get a hot rodded Floyd, and the difference is, if you could see from this picture.
Whoa.
Well, you know what? I can just show you. I have a damn guitar right there.
There you go. Todd, aka Soda Pop.
So I'll take the fun bar off.
The fun bar.
Fun bar is the strip club up the street.
So different. Come on. Why is it that it doesn't focus? Man, that's going to be in the other room if I keep pushing. There we go.
There it is, almost.
Saddle inserts, but it also comes with, look at that. Those things are silky smooth, and you don't have any problems with anything catching, or it feels so good.
I caught my neck of those once.
And then also, I want to see my just jacked arm getting in the way, blocking anything, you know.
If I had any bigger guns, I'd be the U.S. military.
There you go.
There it is.
I mean, those things just go in so just effortlessly. That thing. So anyway, and also, I'm sorry. And those too. Johnny, help me out. I can't tell if it's focus it. This ain't no joke is it.
Back up a little bit, man. Just a little bit. Right
there. There we go.
Perfect. Beautiful.
Those two.
Good looking.
Besides the inserts. I'm telling you, I think it's only another $50 or $60, and I honestly think it came with a block too, and you can pick which block if you call them. I'm pretty sure you can like choose the size of the block. So I got this one's a 42L.
Charlie Brown, you blockhead.
So yeah.
Awesome. And that's all the FU tone
No. This is all Floyd Rose, this bridge.
Floyd Rose?
Well, this block is a FU tone. The block that came with this bridge is in the other body. So anyway, yeah.
Keep it in stock.
Who's leaving it stock?
I'm joking.
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
look, make your guitars whatever's comfortable for you. If you're needing to do a little switch, you want to make it shiny, you want to make it a different color, you want to have this whammy and that. Just change around whatever you want to play. You know, it's got to be fun. Look at him drinking, you lucky bastard.
If you want a longer whammy bar, if your whammy bar is too small,
Hit the whammy on my guitar. Wah, 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 wah.
But and a lot of it too is just, you know, sometimes musicians in general are strange birds, man, you know. And sometimes a lot of it is just like, hey, I want to change something on this. Mind over matter. Even if it performs the same way, sometimes it's like, hey, I added this to this guitar, now it's better. Even though it might not be, you just do it anyway. Who cares?
You'll get better. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Yeah.
it's always-
Chaka Hinahara. Sorry if I butchered your name, but I'm not very smart. Floyd Rose brand upgrades versus FU tone upgrades. I don't know. Probably the same, right?
I think the FU tone ones would be better, right?
They might be.
Because they're a friend of the show. So
Yes. Well then.
I think I like their upgrades better. No, listen, I have some of the titanium upgrades that FU tone does. I think they're great. You know, I haven't really gone after anything Floyd Rose upgrade wise. I mean, I've had great Floyds and lower end ones sometimes, but upgrade wise, FU tone is dynamite, man. They're really good. And they'll do whatever you want. If you're a Nez doll.
Well, I heard what you said, and although I agree that FU tone does do what you want to do, they'll custom for you. So in all honesty, so will Floyd Rose. If you call them directly, they will do whatever you want for them to do.
And Dave, you're right.
And the parts, I believe, are identical. I believe.
Yeah, because when I called about this Brit, the hot rodded Floyd.
Floyd Rose has a custom shop now where they will build whatever you want on their Floyd Roses.
I did not know that.
Yeah, like when I called them, they asked, you know, exactly what I want on it, and you know.
And you know, the thing is, you know, we on the show and me personally, I'm friends with both sides. I'm friends with the owner and the owners of Floyd Rose, and I'm friends with Adam, and I love both. I have to be fair, and I have to tell you the truth. I cannot say one is better than the other. They're both really good. That's all I can say. They're both really good. You know, I just have to be fair that way.
I don't know how to say his name, but I'm going to take a stab at it. Chiaki Hinohara in the chat room. Am I pronouncing that right? He wants to see today one of George Lynch's BC Rich Gunslingers, and either the black with the snake skin or the sketch skull. I own both of them, and I will say tonight one of them will be making an appearance on the show. So yes, a little later, but definitely.
Wow.
Little foreshadow. Worth sticking around? Worth a thumbs up, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah. A subscription, maybe.
Look at that cool ass dog behind you, Johnny. He is just so cute.
Howie
Howie the Dalmatian.
With his little blankie.
I liked him on Facebook this week. Howie has his own page.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you saw that?
I did. I liked him.
Awesome.
Give Howie the Dalmatian a like on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Thumbs up for the Johnny Beane Show, if you could. We'd appreciate it. Just saying. As much as the payroll is insane for this show, we still like the thumbs up, and we appreciate that.
Oh, I see them. I see them moving.
Citizen Kane, so many thumbs up right now. Nice. Thank you.
Except that's not where we want them. We don't want them in the chat box. We want them in the little thing where the thumb is.
Put it over there. There we go. Hypebot talking. What are you playing there, Jay?
Sorry, I was just doing a little 316. It's hard to not play when you have a guitar in your lap. It's just
69.
Finger pick that crap.
I am.
Todd AK Soda Pop. 60.
Man, your finger sounds like a pick.
Well, because I have it's just these strings are super loud, man.
What gauge do you play, Jay?
It depends. If it's a 6-string, 9 to 42, and if it's a 7-string, 9 to 46 with a 56 on the low B.
Am I the only one that can't play a 7-string?
No.
Dave, do you have any?
I used to. I had quite a few of them. In fact, the bridge from my original black UV7 went on a guitar that was built for Steve Vai. It was the it was a 7-string that was the Passion and Warfare 7-string.
Right.
Jay, have you ever seen that? The one that was carved body.
I don't know. I might have. I'm sure if I saw a picture, I'd be like, oh yeah, I done seen it.
Yeah,
I can't believe you thought I was picking that, Dave.
They weren't, huh?
I can't believe you thought I was picking that.
It sounded like it. It just sounded like a pick. It didn't sound like your fingers. I'll show you.
You should hear when that finger's up his nose.
And it is a lot.
It sounds like
you know what? It's funny. I always get that pimple on this side right here because when I pick my nose, that's where my index finger goes. And I guess I do a lot with this index finger, you know, playing guitar.
That's the one that pokes through the toilet paper, too. Hold on. We're reaching new lows today. Hold on.
In the meantime, Dave, while you're pulling up a 7-string, Janice would like to know the string lineup of a 7-string.
Oh.
Well, here you go.
There you go.
The 7-string is going to be.
That's glossy.
The strings that you see on the fretboard right now are your basic E to E. And then you're going to throw in the, look at that. See? Then you add the low B in. And then you're talking some crazy. Yeah.
Me like the cookie. Eat the chocolate chip.
You know, I really hope nobody timestamps that part.
Yeah, please don't, Amanda.
So this guitar here is the Ibanez 7-string that my buddies and I helped build for Steve. And that was done.
Yes.
That was done for the Whitesnake tour. And that bridge, that exact Floyd Rose on that edge system came off of my personal guitar. Because back then, when we made this guitar, they didn't have that Floyd in production yet. Not to sell. You know, they only had them for the guitars that were being made. They didn't have any extras that we could put on his guitar. So I gave them my bridge from my guitar, and I had to wait 9 months for Ibanez to send me a new bridge.
But it's got to be cool to say that your bridge went on Steve Vai's guitar, especially that guitar.
But he also just recently sold this guitar, so he doesn't have it anymore.
Oh, you should call him and say, "Hey, man, give me my bridge back."
Yeah, I want 10% of that sale.
He's been selling a lot of his guitars. He's been selling a lot.
What does he usually sell one for?
I think if you have 10 grand, you can buy one of Steve's guitars.
But they go to like charity, right?
Yeah. And it depends. I think he just recently sold one of the White Snake 7 strings for like $80,000.
Man.
What happened to 10 grand?
Well, most of them are, I think that's where it starts. You know, you can buy one of Steve's guitars for 10 grand. But, you know, depending on the guitar and how popular it is, it's going to be more money.
It's just like a bright yellow plank.
So this one, I think this is the one that he sold. This is the one that he sold for 80 grand. Hang on. And this is also the one that I held when he played mine at a local benefit. I held this one.
I held it when I was playing.
Yeah, because he played my guitar. That guitar.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That looks kind of familiar.
Is that the one from the cover?
No.
No, the one from the cover McRocklin owns.
Oh.
And it also has a big handle in it.
Yeah, the Passion of Warfare cover was at the time, I guess it's not Photoshop, but it was edited.
It was
airbrushed. Yeah. They did a damn good job too.
Thomas, trade me that thing.
He'll never get rid of it, dude.
No.
He'll never get rid of that. He'll never get rid of the flame guitar that, you know, the actual flame guitar that Steve gave him for his birthday.
Yeah.
I mean, I spend money on guitars, but 80 G's?
Yeah, unless you have like, you know, if it's one of your favorite guitars, like if I had the money and I had a chance to get like the 5150 or the Prototype Universe, the Swirled Universe, for something like that, like of course, but number one, I don't have that money. You know.
Well, the 5150 would never be for sale.
No, I know.
Eddie doesn't sell his guitars.
Jay can make $20 the easy way.
Come
to the truck stop this weekend. Come with me.
What are they called, Johnny? You go to the truck stops. What are they called again?
Glory holes.
No.
You mean the name of the stops or the people at the stops?
The people, right?
Customers.
Where's Joe Wentz? Somebody called Joe.
That's what I was waiting for. Lot lizards.
Lot lizards. That's it. Yeah.
I love how everybody knows that. It's like, how do you know that? Wait a minute.
At the Flying J's? That's right.
Flying Jizzs.
There I was. I'm looking through the hole. I'm like, wait a minute. Todd, a.k.a. Soda Pop. Is that you?
Oh, man.
Just slip the 20 through.
So speaking of, you know, a couple of people mentioned, you know, they wouldn't know how to, like, where to start playing a 7-string. And it is a different thing. I mean, it's one of those things where if you try to play it like a 6-string, it gets confusing because, you know, obviously on a 6-string, if you're going to play the low E or the lowest string, you know, but when the low B is there, it just kind of like it can get confusing.
You just need an extra finger, you know, for that G chord. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Don't confuse me again there. Come on. So, I mean, if I'm playing something that's strictly like a 6-string song, if I had the choice, I would not play it on a 7-string. You know what I mean? But if you're, you know, dropping down and just, you know, that type of stuff, or this is for thrash metal because I know he likes this one riff. I'm not going to show how I play it though. Ready? There you go. He probably knows what song that is, but anyway.
Janice likes thrash too.
Huh?
Janice likes thrash too.
Mm-hmm. And also, truckers need love too.
They do, especially those long trips, man.
It's a lonely on the road.
Yep. They also need like jock itch spray and stuff like that. It's probably more important.
You know what's funny? I did a cross country trip driving a truck recently for my day job, and they literally had me going to all these truck stops, stay at these motels and whatnot. And these truck drivers, man, they're wearing these like insulated overalls and coveralls, like jumpsuits and stuff, and they're like always like sleeping in their cab at the truck stop, and it's like a lifestyle, man. I mean, it's like they're on the road for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time without seeing their family.
Oh.
Look at this. Swooper, man. Is that you?
Cold in them their house.
House. It's like you're homeless.
Oh, that's a good quilt. I like it.
You need to get a Snuggie. You really do.
No,
EVH should make
nobody needs
Snuggie.
Bullshit. No one needs one of those.
As seen on Shark Tank. As seen on Shark Tank.
But you see how long it took you to get wrapped up in that thing? All you'd have to do is just throw it over your head and bow. I'm warm now.
But then you have to use the bathroom.
Yes, Ellie? I'm on the internet with Johnny.
Now I gotta watch my mouth.
Oh, crap.
Hi, Ellie.
Hey, Jay.
What are you running, a sweatshop there?
She's telling you she worked out and peed on the toilet.
Oh, did you? Good job, Ellie.
Jay, can I sew on the Nike logos on those fake sneakers we make and you don't hit me today?
Oh, gosh.
She wanted to tell me that
You may have just been on your last show, John.
Please, Jay. Please, Jay. The other kids are hungry. Please. There's no heat either. We're so cold.
she doesn't eat until she mows the lawn.
And that's another 15 years.
Yeah. So she might not be strong enough to mow the lawn.
1 spoonful of applesauce. That's your week's allotment.
Oh, my gosh.
Todd A.K. Soda Pop, he's like, happy to see me go. He's like, bye, Jonathan. Bye, Felicia.
I think Soda Pop would be happy to see us all go, except for Johnny, maybe.
Uh-huh.
It'll just be Johnny and Soda Pop.
Mm.
And Howie.
Then Howie. Oh, look at Howie.
Oh.
Oh, I gotta present myself.
Yeah.
Because I can't. Well, I still can't see him.
I can.
You guys are all blocking him. I can't see him. But
Hey, stand up, Howie.
there you are.
Hey, Howie, Benjamin Smith wants to know what you think of the EVH 78 sneakers. He wants a pair.
Ugh.
Howie, you want a pair of the EVH sneakers?
That'd be really cute. 4 little doggy sneakers.
Why don't you buy a pair of Cons for $20 instead?
Oh, we haven't talked about those shoes yet.
I know.
Do it.
I think they're cool.
You would.
Do we have a photo of them? I haven't seen them.
I have it. I saved it.
He'll grab it. He'll grab it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
No, I said. Well,
What are they called?
you'll get it. You can get it.
Hold on. I can't show. I got to make sure I don't show these pictures.
Uh-oh.
So. Isn't there she is. I was going to say, isn't there one with a chick?
I especially love the left-handed Eddie Van Halen on the left shoe. What a stupid thing.
Are those the ones made in your basement, Jay?
With
Wait.
her, yeah.
Where are the shoes? Hang on.
Oh, the shoes.
Dude.
Sorry. I'll
Thank you,
zoom-
Caleb.
There you go.
Oh, those are cool. Those are cool. Yeah,
Said
right,
nobody.
right there. You know what? I'd rather have striped shoes though. They're not bad
Yeah.
looking. They're not bad.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these.
I'd
Sorry,
rather
Ed.
have ones though. Red, black, and white.
Did you
Or
guys?
black and yellow.
Did you guys see the Van Halen's store did a video for those, and they showed them close up and everything.
Oh, really? How'd they sound?
And the
Is there a quarter attached to him?
Hold on. Did you guys see this though? Did you guys see that yet though? Oh, maybe I should.
Maybe if you could get a camera that would allow us to.
Yeah, I know.
No, the side that says 1978 Eddie Van Halen. It's like what do you call it? It's raised, so you can actually feel it. Check out Van Halen's store.
You can feel 19. Go ahead.
What? Huh?
It feels like 1978 again.
I wouldn't know. I don't.
I'd rather have the stripe version. I think the stripes just look cooler.
I think Eddie should put his money into touring instead of these stupid things.
Is there any more news on that?
No.
Anything else?
No.
Yeah, you know what I read? You know what? This is what I read on Facebook today. Some stupid magazine or something said that Michael Anthony debunked the tour rumor, but all they did was rehash Sammy's interview with Eddie Trunk. They didn't say anything about Michael Anthony.
Oh boy,
really retarded.
No one's gonna watch anything. Hey, speaking of watching, did you guys see the preview for Motley Crue's The Dirt movie on Netflix?
I did not.
Anyone in the chat?
I think I scrolled past it.
You know, the Motley Crue's The Dirt, the book, was incredible. I mean, just the stories in there were so good. Something about the movie, I don't know, I think it's miscast. Like Mick Mars is like real smiling and happy, and the guy was like miserable his whole life. His back.
Yeah. Well, if you looked like him, you'd be miserable too.
Yeah.
Well, he had some health issues with his back, right? Didn't his back
it's his bones? It's everything. He's got this degenerative bone deficiency.
Right. His spine is fused. It hurts to stand, and he's standing there for like 2.5 hours on a stage, you know, with a guitar. I mean, you know. Yeah, he's a miserable guy, and he's older, and you know, this guy that they cast, he's just like, it's like, no. And the Vince Neil guy also looks a little bit off. I think he doesn't look like Vince. I don't know, man. I'm a little concerned about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Vince from the '80s or Vince now?
Vince from there, right?
Because Vince now looks more like CeCe DeVille when he was fat.
Vince and Axl Rose are like competing right now. They're competing for a pizza. They're like arm wrestling over it, and it's got cupcakes as a topping. Those boys, two big boys right now.
Gross.
Well, we might have some inside information here, but Caleb Rapoport says early March, expect an announcement.
That Axl Rose.
What is Caleb pregnant?
With a new guitar. So here's the thing, right? Now, Sammy said 6 months ago, Michael got a call from Van Halen's representation, management, whatever. And then he hasn't heard anything since. Now, the majority of hardcore, well, I would say all of hardcore Van Halen fans have heard this. So they want to see Michael Anthony back on stage with Van Halen. Rightfully so. You know, if we hear that kind of rumor and then get the actual confirmation that he did get a call, we want to see it.
Yeah,
if Van Halen,
go ahead. Huh? Finish. Go ahead.
If Van Halen announces a tour early March or whenever, and there's going to be there's no word of Michael Anthony, people are going to be pissed. Do you agree or do you disagree?
Well, you know what the problem was? That phone call was Eddie asking where his fish guitar was. Michael, do you know where I put that guitar? The one with the fish. That's what the phone call was.
Well, somebody's going to have to call you then.
Yeah, so I may be on tour with Van Halen.
Yeah, holding the fish.
Straight over here. Bring those amps over here. John.
For Christ's sake.
Bring in Michael's suitcase. I mean.
So So how would you guys feel if there is an announcement, hypothetically, in March saying Van Halen will be on the road this summer, July, August, whatever, but it's no mention of Michael Anthony, or if they say, Eddie, Alex, Dave, Wolfgang, like, would you guys feel kind of like, man,
missed opportunity?
I don't really care. I don't really care.
But you don't care either way, right? You don't care either way, Dave?
No, I don't care either way.
Okay, so then that doesn't. Johnny, what do you think?
I care. I care. I want to hear Michael. Michael has that chorus that can cover up some of Dave's.
Make Dave sound really out of tune.
You don't understand. Wolfgang sings really well. He doesn't sound like Michael. He doesn't have Michael's timbre, but he does it fine.
No, he can sing, but it's that high. Yeah, it's that high.
No. He does the high thing. He does everything that Michael did. It's just not Michael's voice. It's exactly the same harmony. He does the same harmony that Michael did on all the songs.
Wolfgang is fine, but the reality is I grew up with Michael Anthony. I want to see Michael Anthony. One more time.
Listen, Eddie is happy when his son is playing bass, and I'd like to see a happy Eddie. I don't want to see a miserable Eddie, because if he's a miserable Eddie, he's not going to play well.
I think if the shows go well...
He was miserable in 2004, and he played like shit on that whole tour.
Yeah, but that wasn't because he was upset about something. That was other issues.
I tell you, that was other issues, but it was also because he hated the guys he was playing with.
If the audience is happy, I think Eddie will be happy.
Listen, the audience is always going to be happy. When Van Halen tours, no matter who's playing bass and no matter who is singing, the fans are going to be happy because the fans are there to see Eddie Van Halen. They're not there to see anyone else. And if they are, they're lying.
I want to see Dave. I want to see Dave.
Nesdal? Johnny, I want to get your take on this because Johnny, I want to get your take because after all, it is your show. I mean,
I just saw Michael Anthony.
We know.
I just saw him.
Did Jeannie steal my chapstick? Oh, here it is.
I saw him twice.
With Van Halen? You saw him with Van Halen before anybody else did.
Wait, where's the picture?
Citizen Kane, Wolfgang's album has been done for months now.
Yeah.
So that's why I think here's my opinion while Johnny's looking for this. I don't want to, take time away from him again, but I think that it's going to be a dual announcement. It's going to be something where Van Halen is going out and Wolfgang is going to get a band together and they're going to go out.
See, I just saw him. I'm not lying.
There you go.
And look, he's taller than me.
Oh, Johnny, present that picture because I have something to say about it real fast.
Huh?
Pull that picture up again and present it, please.
All right.
You know what's great about that picture, everybody? It looks like Michael Anthony is trying to take a picture with Johnny, and Johnny's like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Yeah, that's actually what happened.
Hey, you have an internet show, right, man? Hey, can I take a picture with you?
Michael Anthony says in the chat, Johnny was so rude to me, I couldn't believe it. I'll never watch your show again. Screw you. That's the chat room.
Yep. A lot of people are saying that, actually.
There's another one right there. Thank you, Caleb, for this one. Caleb took that.
Johnny's like, why the hell is that guy sitting in my seat?
Johnny, we were in the front row. We were in the front row watching him.
Yeah. Photobombing Michael Anthony.
So what do you think, Johnny? Do you think that if Van Halen announces the tour and they either don't mention Michael Anthony at all or say that it's going to be 3 Van Halens and 1 Roth, do you think?
No matter what they... Oh, I'm so blurry. No matter what they do, people are going to get mad. No matter what it is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, you know?
Really mad.
That picture looks like it was painted.
Now they're really mad. I have that photo hanging over my toilet.
Now, everybody, that sign behind Johnny is literally like 3 feet tall.
And that sign should actually say the Johnny Beane Show, not the Nam Show.
It's like,
Yeah, what the hell? They got to change the name of that damn thing.
It's like
So-
Stonehenge on Spinal Tap. It's like Stonehenge.
In fact,
There it is.
Johnny, you should really Photoshop that and have that say the Johnny Beane Show and make that like the opening credits thing for us.
Because guys, when did those rumors start? That remember there was speculation somebody saw Michael Anthony leaving 5150 Studio. Like, wasn't that like last Christmas or something?
Well, who saw that? Who would have seen that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying what the rumors came out. It was like not this past Christmas.
It was one of these. It was one of these, people in a helicopter that circles over 5150 because they need to know where it is.
I'm just saying there was speculation about a year ago, I think, or maybe even over a year ago now, that Michael Anthony, and I remember everyone was freaking out about it, and then it was announced that they were doing that the 40th anniversary interview with Redbeard about the first record and all that stuff, and they were all being interviewed, and then there was speculation, oh, they're all being interviewed together, but it was just old interviews that they played.
Yeah,
So
it was all old.
rumors have been out
It was old. Yeah.
about Michael Anthony coming back to Van Halen for a while now. So it's not like it's just, people just thought about it.
Mad Dog said Rob Johnson seen it from the bushes in front of Eddie's house.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Unbelievable.
What is it? Gray goose to red squirrel? I said Michael Anthony is leaving the studio. Johnny Beane to Dave Nesdall.
Here's another picture. Real quick. This is from PV Electronics. Right there.
Higher.
What are
Right
you
there.
The guy?
There they are. Right. And then who's that on the side there
Yeah.
watching?
Johnny Beane's head.
And then whose hand is that taking a picture? On the
What?
on the other side. That's Ben. That's Ben's hand right there taking a picture.
Looks
on
like
that side.
a corpse's hand. Ben, I'm just busting with you.
Yeah, that was a good interview, by the way. That was a good. Did you guys all hear that? Did you
I
listen
watched
to
some
it?
of, yeah, Michael Anthony, he just seems like a down to earth, cool dude,
Yeah,
Very
Yeah.
normal.
And I think that's a big reason of why a lot of Van Halen fans want to see him back in the band, because I think it's, for the most part, everybody feels like he got the raw end of the deal. Even though, when you go back and look like, hey, he went out with Sammy, it was almost like sleeping with the enemy,
Yeah, but you know what? He not only got the raw end of the deal, they need some vocals. Dave just can't do it. I mean, he doesn't. If you want that Van Halen sound, that's Michael. That's his harmonies. That's him.
Well, and I agree with you, because Sammy said it when he got in the band. He was like, I didn't realize how much Michael Anthony's voice made Van Halen.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's like nothing against Wolfgang. He's doing a fine job as, both bass player and vocals. But you know what? Michael Anthony hits those highs, and you just feel, I mean, he's still got it. He really does. Dave doesn't. I love Dave, but he doesn't have that ability anymore.
But he never did. He couldn't sing on the first record.
But even talking through songs sounds terrible. And I don't want anyone else. I love Sammy, and that's a whole different animal. But I want to see Van Halen with Dave, even if he's doing a shit job. I want Dave doing a shit job. No one does a shit job like David Lee Roth.
Well, Tessie Switch said Caleb started the rumor, so there you go.
But yeah, like I was saying though, I'd love to see them all. I'd love to see Sammy, Dave, Wolfgang, Michael, Eddie, Alex, Gary.
Stop right there.
Whatever. I'd love. I love all of it. To me, it's all Van Halen. But like I said though, no matter what they do, fans are going to be mad. About whatever it is, because that's how it always is.
I'd love to do something with Dave and Sammy. I'd love to see that. nothing against
Never
Gary,
will happen.
you know.
Not in a million years.
Happened once before.
Yeah, and you saw how
Yeah,
that was.
it didn't happen for long. That's why it'll never happen again.
But much like sex, it wasn't long, but it was good.
What wasn't long?
I said
sorry?
much like sex, it wasn't long, but it was good. The best disappointing 2 minutes of your life, I tell you.
You know, I saw that Sam and Dave tour. It was cool, man. And you know, I'm more of a Sammy, with the exception, I guess, of like obviously Eat 'Em and Smile and most of Skyscraper. I'm more of a Sammy solo artist over Dave solo artist. But I'll tell you, it was cool seeing Dave live because the majority of what he played at that show was Van Halen stuff, and his band just completely ripped, man. I mean, it was awesome. And then when Sammy came out, because Dave opened the show that I saw, and then Sammy came out, and it was, you know, the big party on stage and stuff. And I'm not really into the post Van Halen Sammy Hagar, you know, a couple good songs here and there, but the whole like Mas Tequila thing, like I can't get into stuff like that.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah, beach music and stuff. I can't do it, man.
Yeah, but you know, 150, man.
You know what it is. He's become Jimmy
Buffett.
Yeah,
He's become Jimmy Buffett, and I mean a hard rocking Jimmy Buffett, but still Jimmy Buffett.
yeah, and I can't do it. I mean, I love Sammy Hagar, obviously,
But his fans love him.
yeah.
You know, they call him what, redheads or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Love him. They'll follow. You know, he's almost like the Grateful Dead for some of these people. They'll follow him. You know,
if he plays stuff from 5150, OU812, and the early Hagar days, I want to see that. I do.
But here's the thing also with Dave's. I mean, this was back. When was the Sam and Dave tour? 2002 or 3, right?
like-
2.
Yeah.
2.
The cool thing is that the band that Dave had, I mean, if you closed your eyes, especially the guitar player, I mean, it sounded like as close to Van Halen as you know, because you can never sound like Eddie completely. But it was cool to see that. And then when Sammy came out and played, you know, some Van Halen songs, you know, Vic Johnson's a great guitar player, but he can't, in my opinion, can't really emulate Eddie.
Does an okay job, but
Yeah, he does
still.
an okay job. But still, it's like you just
Well,
Van Halen is so special and unique, and Eddie's playing is so unique that if you don't hear that, it's like everything sticks out to you.
yeah, it's like because Vic puts his own spin on a lot of that stuff, and I know what you mean though. It's that's one of the problems I have with some tribute bands. You know, it's like looking at a guy who's trying to look exactly like Vince Neil, like you were saying that Motley Crue film or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
The Dirt on Netflix coming up.
where if they're trying to be exact, but it's just not quite it kind of makes my stomach hurt a little bit. You know,
you're feeling it. That's the problem.
But especially with Eddie Van Halen, you know, if it's those songs and it's not quite there, it's nobody can play it like Eddie.
Yeah.
You know.
Look, there are two distinct sounds in that band. You have Van Halen with Dave, and you have Van Hagar with Sammy. Dave is a talker, but a showman. Sammy is an incredible singer and still has that ability. And it's two distinct sounds. And I want to see both of them.
Me too. And
Me too.
John BL brings up a good point. It says the thing about Sammy's shows, that's the only place you're going to see the Van Halen. Oh my goodness, Van Hagar era songs, and that's a huge issue I think for a lot of the Hagar fan stuff. Is if they go out with Dave again, which if they go out they will, you're not going to hear four #1 albums. You're not going to hear any of those songs.
Yeah, but it was the same. It was the same thing when Hagar was in the band. You didn't hear any David Lee Roth.
They sprinkled,
except for the hits, like
yeah.
But and Sammy did him his way. He didn't do him Roth's way.
Well, And by the time, because the first time I saw him was 93, and by that time, crap. How many Roth era songs did they actually play on that tour? I mean,
3.
Yeah, 2 or 3. And I think that was a mistake.
Talking about love. Ain't talking about love. Panama. And
Jump?
No.
Yeah, they did Jump. That was the encore.
Oh, man. And that's a shame too.
Unchained. That's when they did.
Oh yeah, and
Unchained.
they fooled with Unchained in '93. Yes, four songs after Eddie's solo.
And I think that was the best thing about the Sharon era, Van Halen 3 era, was that they did pull a bunch of those older songs out of the hat, which is awesome.
Well, yeah, but Gary has nothing else to offer. Well, who else cares about Van Halen 3?
I do. I love that record.
Oh, come on.
I do.
I loved it. I still love it.
Not me.
I was okay with it, but it wasn't Dave. It wasn't Sammy. It wasn't Van Halen to me. It wasn't.
You know, Jay, guys like you and everyone that hates that record, I think they say they hate it because it's cool to hate it.
No, I returned that record. CD.
Whatever.
Tape.
I don't hate it, but I definitely don't like it anywhere near any of Sammy's or any of Dave's. Nowhere near it.
There's only one song on that record that needs to go in the shitter.
No, there's 2 songs that are good. So here, guys, here's my generation, or I don't know, generation, whatever the hell it is, but the era that I went to like school in the city and town that I grew up in, like it was mostly, for the majority, like rap and hip hop was like big. There wasn't many Van Halen fans when I went to school. You know what I mean? I was like one of the very few. So it wasn't anything where it was like a group of people, yo, it sucks. And I was like, oh yeah, it does suck. No, I was basically on my own, obviously with my brother and stuff, but still it was like, you know, I mean, it's unfair to compare things sometimes, but it, in my opinion, I just didn't like it.
And you can't compare it. It shouldn't be compared because it was Van Halen 3 was a brand new band. You know, wasn't the same. But when they did the tour, you know, they played all the old stuff
But they have to. They have to. Nobody's going to see Gary Sharon. Nothing against Gary. Extreme was great. But no one's going to see that record played full.
Do you think Van Halen 3 would have been better, the album, if they had toured first and then made a record?
I just didn't like the material that much. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't up to Van Halen snuff. Not by far.
I think you need to revisit that record and listen to it.
I have. It's just, I've said it before, man. I like Extreme a lot.
I do too.
But it's not Extreme. Stop, because it's Sharon. Stop thinking of it like Extreme.
I'm not. What I'm just saying is,
it's a different band. It's a different style of music. It's Extreme is not, doesn't even sound like Van Halen. Extreme has their own thing.
I know that, but it's not like I hated Extreme and then Gary Sharon joined Van Halen. I was like, nope, get it out. I liked Extreme, and just in my opinion, it just didn't fit the style of Van Halen.
What did you guys think when you first saw on MTV News that Gary had joined Van Halen before you heard any of it? What were your thoughts on that?
I didn't care. I was bummed about Sammy.
Yeah.
Because you know what? When Dave left, I was bummed. And when I heard they picked Sammy, I said, wow, that's going to be really interesting. Because I like Sammy Hagar. I know he's very talented. He'd probably fit in. He was also a guitar player and a great vocalist. I thought we would at minimum get some good music out of that. And same with Dave's band. Dave's band was incredible with Steve Vai, and you know, it was great. But when Gary joined, I was just like, they couldn't get anyone else. And I thought Mitch Malloy was a better choice.
I mean, it made sense. Oh, sorry, Johnny, go ahead. I'm getting fired up.
I was going to say, John, remember when Mitch walked right past us when we were eating?
Well, Mitch doesn't care.
Remember that? We were eating those sandwiches. We were eating those chicken sandwiches, and Mitch Malloy walks right past our table.
I was like, no, that's Mitch Malloy. He's in Great White now. And he's doing a great job, I got to say.
Well, he's a great singer. You know, that guy doesn't hit a bad note.
No, he's terrific. And he looks.
But, you know, you realize that he's a country singer first. And that's, you know, that's why he, I mean, to be a country singer, you got to have a fantastic voice. You got to have like almost an acrobatic voice.
But you know
and
what?
He comes from that. So.
And you know what? Randy Rhoads was a classical musician. But he's Randy Rhoads.
Or if you're Chris Farley, Randy Roads.
Ronads. Kiss my Ronads. No, but
you know,
Mitch would have been a good choice.
But it made sense, like if you look at it logistically, you know, when Dave left and they got Sammy in, the thinking, I'm sure on the inside of Van Halen was, hey, Dave's gone, but now we got Sammy coming in. Sammy has a buttload of fans that are going to come with him. And I'm sure that was part of the thinking when they got Sharon is like, hey, Sammy's not here anymore, but now we're going to bring all the extreme fans in and we're not going to lose much. I think that was the thinking.
But you know what? Think about where music was at that time. There really wasn't a big guitar scene. I mean,
well, Van Halen was lucky. Yeah. No, I'm with you that the grunge era and everything like that kind of destroyed all that stuff. But I think Van Halen was one of those bands. And look at, you know, Balance was 95, and that was at the pinnacle of grunge. And they were still able to have a #1 record. And I think they were one of the few bands like Metallica, Van Halen,
Aeros.
Yeah, there were a few bands that were able to, like, you know,
still hold it. Yeah. Because they've been out there so long before the metal scene really came on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But no, I wasn't crazy about Sharon. David Coverdale, Bozique is saying David Coverdale was also up for that at one point. I don't know if I would enjoy David Coverdale because, you know what? He has his own thing going, and he's great. I mean, I love Whitesnake. But I don't know if he would have like gelled with Van Halen, you know.
No, might have worked better than Sharon.
Yeah, well, you know, who's great? What's his name from Steel Panther? He did a great Van Halen cover band in the '90s, Atomic Punks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were good. But here's the thing: I don't think Eddie wanted to bring in a clone of anybody, you know.
Yeah. No,
and plus, their new manager was also Extreme's manager, so I'm sure he was
pushing it.
Yeah, thinking about that too. Like, hey, I can double dip now, you know?
You bet. You bet.
But you talk about the Coverdale thing. Who mentioned that again?
Bozique.
I remember, I think, hearing that like on the radio before the whole Sharon confirmation came out, that Coverdale was one of the names. I don't know if it was an inside leak or just somebody that the name was thrown in. And you know what? When I heard that, I was like, that might be kind of cool. But, you know, what are you going to do? It's water under the bridge now. And in my opinion, Van Halen ended when Sammy Hagar left.
Yeah, no, me too. And you know what, though? Coverdale's thing, he is basically the band. And he hires these great gunslingers. I mean, just the best of the best guitarists. But
I agree with you.
Helen, that's his band, and he just hires a really good frontman. But the egos, I think, would just.
I don't think Coverdale would be good either, because quite frankly, these days he doesn't sing well anyway.
Yeah.
Dave. But yeah,
so at that time, guys, let me get your input then, or your opinion. I know it's kind of tough when you think back to '96. But who would you guys have liked if you could go back and pick somebody from that time? Who do you think would have been a good choice?
Mitch Malloy.
All right.
With that,
Dave, what do you think?
Dave.
That's a good question.
I got two guys, but I want you to go.
Well, what's the singer's name in
John Mancuda?
No.
Johnny Beane.
What band?
I lost it. I lost it. Forget it.
Song. Give me a song.
I couldn't tell you a song. With Satchel. What's the name of that band with Satchel? You know, with
Steel Panther.
Steel Panther. Is he our age? Is he like a young dude? Because
No, I think he's probably in his.
If he was around in '96, I think he would have been one of the better choices.
He was probably a great age back then.
Yeah.
He was doing Atomic Punch.
And also wasn't Russ Parrish in David Lee Roth's band at some point? Russ Parrish is Satchel.
Satchel. No, he wasn't he doing the cover?
Or wasn't he?
He
was in the Atomic Punks, but
Yeah.
didn't David Roth take him out of the Atomic Punks for his band for a while? Was that him or was that someone else?
I don't think so. You had let's see, you had Vi. Then you had I don't remember
Who was with Dave on the Sam and Dave tour? Was it him?
anyone in the chat know that one? Who was on the Sam and Dave tour as the guitar player?
John BL. John BL, are you there, producer?
Bozique, yes, Ralph. I can't pronounce his last name, but yes,
Ralph.
I think he would have been a good candidate for Van Halen.
Who was that?
Ralph Sinet?
That's him?
Yeah, that's the singer in Steel Panther.
Yeah. He's terrific. And oh my God, he does Ozzy Osbourne. Like you've never seen an imitation of Ozzy Osbourne. He plays Ozzy Osbourne to the T. Someone look for that on YouTube when the show's over. Look up Steel Panther, Ozzy Osbourne, and your head will explode. It's so funny.
Oh, Bozique said that Russ Parrish played with Rob Halford, not Roth.
Okay. Yeah, I forget who. Well, Rich Hefner. Before you go, don't leave yet, because you had mentioned. Because I'm gonna give my choices in a second, but he mentions '96 Chris Cornell. Here's the thing, Chris Cornell, he was doing Soundgarden then, and they were huge, so that wouldn't have been an option. Chris Cornell was not going to leave Soundgarden to join Van Halen in '96. James Gum says one of my choices. He says Sebastian Bach. Now I know it wouldn't have worked.
I can't stand that guy.
No, listen. I know personality-wise, it wouldn't have worked. But I mean that would have been awesome.
No.
For the 3 shows it would have lasted.
Yep.
It was awesome. But I met Sebastian a few times. That would never have happened. It would never have worked ever.
I know, but it would have been, if it could work, it would have been awesome. My other choice, it's a very strange one, but hear me out for a second. What about Whitfield Crane?
I don't know who that is.
Ugly Kid Joe. Remember the Ugly Kid Joe singer?
I hate that voice.
Oh, really?
But there was no charisma there for Van Halen.
I dug that guy's voice. I thought it was cool.
If you're gonna front Van Halen, you have to be a showman. You have to be on. And maybe Dave was over the top, and maybe Sammy was the consummate musician. But Ugly Kid Joe, with all due respect, there was nothing really showy about him. He wouldn't be a good frontman for them at all.
But at the time, I think that Eddie didn't want anybody to. Eddie at that time, I think, wanted to be the frontman of Van Halen, and he kind of took over.
And that's why we have Van Halen 3 to make fun of today. That's what happened. He made a bad decision. Nothing against Gary Cherone, but he made a bad decision, I think.
Well, the only thing I had against Gary Cherone in the live situation is he was a little too flamboyant on stage.
Yes. Yeah, there's Roth flamboyant, and then there's Cherone flamboyant. And it's
Roth flamboyant is like a Vegas show. It's like
I'm talking about old Roth, like 80s.
It's still like it was like a Vegas thing. His whole it was like a vaudeville Vegas type act. That's what Roth is about, vaudeville. Sammy Hagar was a little less of that, but he was trying to fill Roth's shoes. He really was. The way he moved around like he was trying to fill Roth's shoes, but sang great, and
I
he
disagree
had
with
it
that.
because he was okay.
Just
You
my
go.
opinion. Just my opinion.
I agree there. I agree with Dave because you know what? Roth was basically the Jim Dandy that put on the white glove and looked at you like this, you know? And Sammy was just a really great musician that said, you know what? I don't need to be flamboyant like that. I could just play right with Eddie and dual guitars and really strong vocals, and I'm going to do something different, but still really give people a great show. Gary?
You know what? But Gary's flamboyant with Extreme as well. He's just he's more of a Broadway actor, singer. Great voice, but he comes off more Broadway than vaudeville.
And 5150 nailed it. 5150 Fly Guy, Sammy was himself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Roth was himself too, because that's the way he was. That's just the way he is. He's done it in Van Halen. He did it solo. He acted the way he does all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Gary Cherone had to fill 2 sets of huge shoes, and he couldn't be himself. He wasn't allowed to be himself. He was told what to do, and that's why it looked fake.
All right. As Janice wants to go to bed, I do want to show off this guitar if she wants to stick around for a minute.
It's already,
You still have a guitar? Oh my gosh.
I have a great guitar tonight for show and tell, boys and girls. So I told this a week or two ago. I'm just gonna give a quick recap. At one point in around 1987, 88, Lynch was like on top of the world. George Lynch, guitarist for Dokken, top of the guitar world, ESP endorsement. Everybody would have loved to have stolen him from ESP. BC Rich just came out with a new guitar called the Gunslinger, single pickup, maple neck, reverse headstock, just all business shredder deluxe. And they wanted to send a couple to George Lynch to see if he would, you know, maybe latch on to that and jump ship to BC Rich. So guitar painter Dan Lawrence, who a lot of you might know, and Glenn Matejal, who were the painters at BC Rich at the time, came up with two gunslingers. One of them was black with a gray snakeskin tear on it, and the other was a cream with all sorts of skulls sketched onto it. And George loved the guitars so much, he played them on tours. He had them in his instruction videos. He had them a lot of places. They're in pinups, they're in magazines, but ESP caught wind of it. They're seeing these photos of George playing these BC Rich guitars, and they're like, hey, you can't do that. You're R endorsee. So you start seeing photos of George covering up the logos, you know, little tape, a little black tape over the logo, and during photo shoots, kind of hiding the headstocks as he's holding the guitars. But ESP eventually made him switch the neck off of the BC Rich bodies to ESP necks. So when you look at this guitar, in some photos, it'll have the original BC Rich neck. In others, it'll have the ESP neck. And the ESP neck, when it was taken off of this, was used to make George Lynch's Purple Tiger guitar, because he really liked that ESP neck. So he put the original Gunslinger neck back on this, and the ESP neck went on to be the Purple Tiger neck. But a lot of you guys may recognize this graphic. Johnny, do you got that?
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, look at that.
So And this guitar wound up, I'd looked for this one for years, and it wound up in Japan, of all places. Matching snakeskin headstock. And again,
That's cool.
You'd see photos of George like this in magazines, you know, just showing off the guitar. Very famous photo of him like carrying it like this with the ESP neck on magazine covers. If you guys remember this image, carrying like that. So again, BC Rich Gunslinger. I love these things. And the pickup on it, it's a DiMarzio, but it was made for George. Special tone, stuff like that. It's a prototype. I don't know what they called it, but on the bottom of it, if I pulled it out, it says George Lynch prototype. So it gave him a little distinct.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
That's neat. And this one has rosewood. Usually these guys have maple, but this one happens to have rosewood. And when he switched the neck to the ESP neck was maple. It was a maple banana headstock. So George Lynch guitar by BC Rich. One of 6 George Lynch guitars I own that eventually I'll show on the show.
Is that an original Floyd on that, or is that a one of the BC Rich Godos?
Good question. This one's an actual Floyd. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I see it now. But BC Rich was making, I guess they would put their name on Godos, on a Godo bridge, and they were using that for a while too.
Yeah, you also notice this trem isn't recessed, which a lot of the gunslingers are. See, there's no recess on that one, but most of the gunslingers have a cut-in recess. I guess they basically went with, you know, what they thought George would like. Yeah,
because George only played Floyd Roses. He wouldn't play any other bridge. Yeah. So, yeah, being that was his guitar, I'm sure they would have put a Floyd on it.
Yeah, and again, you know, it's just an attempt. They're like, let's give him one of these because these shredders are really good. Guys like, you know, Tracy Guns and CC DeVille and the Warrant guys, a lot of guys really love playing these gunslingers. And, you know, they were like, hey, George is a shredder. And they were right. He loved them. If you look at tours, he played these as like regular guitars and used them a lot. They were in some of his instructional videos and tons of magazine covers and spreads and whatever. So these got a lot of use from him. Just ESP, like everything else. ESP said you gotta put an ESP logo on there, buddy. We're cutting you some serious checks. So
is there a string? Is there a string retainer on that headstock or no? Because I saw 2 holes up there by the Floyd. Or is that where the cover is for the truss rod?
That's where the truss rod cover goes. It's got a regular Floyd locking nut, but no string guide.
Oh, so the headstock is tilted back.
The headstock's slightly tilted.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
Yeah. And again, for those of you that haven't played these necks, they are lightning fast. These were modeled after old San Dimas Charvels, which were really, really fast, thin, D-shape, really, really, really fast. And you know, like oiled maple, just really slick, smooth, very light, older bodies. Great.
Awesome, man.
I love these things. So that's today's show and tell, kids. George Lynch's Gunslinger. One of them.
Beautiful guitar, man.
Yep. Soda Pop says the headstock's at a 12. Well, never mind. He retracted it.
I saw that.
Citizen Kane says, I think we know where Jonathan's TV money went. A lot of it goes into guitars. Guitars and comic book artwork. Definitely. So hope you guys enjoyed that. That's this week's show and tell guitar.
Awesome. Awesome. That's an awesome guitar, man.
Thank you, bro. What are my opinions of the BC Rich Mockingbird? I own about 20 of them. They are great, but the regular Mockingbirds are a little bit neck dive heavy. But again, I'm a sit down player, so I'm the wrong person to ask. But I know this because I have a bunch of them. The shorthorn mocks balance better if you're a stand up player, but for a sit down player like me, doesn't make a difference. They play great.
What's a shorthorn? What does that mean?
Mockingbirds came originally with let me just grab two real quick. I'll give a quick little
awesome. Wow.
Is anybody else thinking
Bonus.
of mock? Yeah, bing, yeah, bird, yeah, yeah, yeah. Is anybody else thinking of that from Dumb and Dumber?
No, no. That's a funny movie though, man.
Yep.
I never saw the other one. Wasn't
there
was like some sort of sequel with like different people in it or something?
Oh, Dumber.
Or was that a third one? Or
well, the sequel or the prequel, I guess, the one when they were like, that was two other people, but then they did a sequel where they're older. And it wasn't. I mean, it's hard to recreate that magic, man. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm schlepping guitars.
Oh, look at that.
Okay. Quick
mock. Yeah.
All right, here we go. So here's two vintage Mockingbirds. Okay.
You should be in Jefferson Starship with those guitars.
Yeah, I know, right? I have one like Chiquito. I have a purple one like that. Okay, so this red one here, and these are both vintage 80s. They're hand carved. This red one is a Longhorn. Okay, this is the horn right here. That's your standard Mockingbird. They did two variations or a few variations, I'm told, of the shape. The two main ones are an El Monte and a Tijuana or TJ. So those two had the long horn here. You see how much longer it is than the top horn? That bottom horn's really sticking out. The problem is it has a little bit of neck dive. So, guys like Slash prefer this one and have that. But then a little bit later, Bernie Rico, who owned BC Rich, came up and said, you know what? Let's shorten this horn a little bit and it'll balance better on a strap. So you have this, a short horn Mockingbird. So you see the top horn here sticks out just as much as the bottom one. So they just shortened it out. It balances better. And that's basically your difference on Mockingbirds.
Well, John Biel says he guesses his is a Longhorn. Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, well, listen, man, I'm Jewish, so mine is a short horn. So it's this color. So.
Oh my gosh, what are all those switches?
This is Moser Electronics, basically. Neil Moser, who created the Bitch and a few other BC Riches. He basically created.
Actually, God created the Bitch.
Yeah, right. Oh! He basically did this. I'll show it on the other one, actually. I'll show it on this one. You have basically electronics options to give you some tonal differences. The biggest one is this right here. This is the Veritone. So, like, this will give you like 7 of tones depending on what you're playing. Then there's boosters. There's pickup selectors, volume tone, booster volume. I mean, this thing really can get loud and give you so many tonal options. And you probably won't use them all live, but if you're in the studio, which I'll never be other than I'm sweeping it, if you're in the studio and you want to have different tonal options, this type of electronics package will give you so many different tones.
You know what? When you showed that's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, to have that in the studio would be really cool.
Oh, it is. It totally is.
Yeah.
So, quick little lesson on Mockingbirds. I'll show
those are some pretty unique knobs on there. Besides the Variac knob, can you show just the normal like volume and tone knobs? Are those?
Yeah, I mean they're basically this is top hats as they're called.
You only see them on BC Rich guitars.
Yeah.
They're indicative to BC Rich.
And this is another style. There were two different style of knobs they used back in the 80s and the 70s. This is one of them. These are called top hats. Because if you look at them, they're like little black top hats. Oh.
Well, we have a very important question from Tessie Switch. He said, "Which one is the kill switch?"
Pre Buckethead days. So this is the kill switch.
Now, did they ever make did they make all those guitars in with the headstocks 3 and 3, or did they do 6 in line at all with that guitar?
They did a couple of them. I mean, the 3x3 for a Mockingbird is like your original standard one, and these are early bullseyes. These are early bullseye tuners. If you look at those, with
they're Imperials,
right? Grover Imperials, and if you look at these the way they are in this shape, that's your classic configuration. Shortly after, they came up with a little 6 to a side ice cream scoop shape that was on the Mockingbird. Some people ordered that. You got to remember, back then, BC Rich and shops like that would do anything you wanted. If you could think it, they would build it.
Make me a Kramer.
And you know what? Employees.
The funny thing is, people from Kramer in the early 80s went to BC Rich in the mid 80s. So they would make you a Kramer.
Well, actually, Jackson Charvel in 1986 had a big switchover. When they left San Dimas, a lot of guys went over to work for Bernie Rico at BC Rich, because Bernie was like, you know what? You're moving out of San Dimas anyway. Why don't you come for me? I'll pay you more than Grover Jackson. And he did, and they did.
Shauna Marie sings, Jonathan. She says, "I was just about to say goodnight, but then you brought out the bitches."
Man, ain't
good.
nobody got them bitches.
Comment of the night. That's pretty good.
And you know, they went in about 1987, 88 for Mockingbirds. They started really offering them more in pointed headstocks, because that was, you know, that was the thing. That was the trendy thing, was everyone was going pointy. Kramer also went, you know, from banana shape and rounded to pointy headstocks. BC Rich
86.
Yeah, 86, 7, you know. So
Okay.
John BL 5150 wants to see the back. Neck through construction on these guys. These early BC Riches, like I've said on the show before, these were made from little Mexican luthiers in a back room with handmade knives. They made the knives themselves out of, like, you know, just sheet metal and stuff.
They made them. They made those guitars from butter knives and chisels.
Basically, yeah. They were sitting whittling these things. So these things are incredible handmade guitars. Early BC Riches. Love them. Guys like Slash have played them for years. This one's very similar to one Slash owns, actually, except Slash has a Floyd over here.
Well, you and John BL are going to have to compare bitches, I guess, huh?
well, again, this is a Mockingbird, but I do have a lot of bitches too.
Well, no, I think he has a Mockingbird. I don't know what the hell's going on.
It's a damn Mockingbird.
Yeah.
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 All right, say goodnight, Gracie. It's 10.
Yeah.
Good night.
Oh,
Yeah. See ya.
Jay, one more.
Time for the Irish goodbye.
Are we good? Are we good?